A United States Reaper drone and two Russian Su-27 aircraft were flying in international waters over the Black Sea when, according to the US military, one of the Russian jets flew in front of and dumped fuel on the unmanned drone. The aircraft then reportedly hit the propeller of the drone, prompting US forces to bring the MQ-9 drone down in international waters. The collision took place shortly after 7 a.m. Central European Time on Tuesday, which is 11:30 a.m. India time. The incident marks the first time Russian and US military aircraft have come into direct physical contact since Russia launched its invasion of Ukraine just over a year ago, and is also likely to increase tensions between the two nations.
What we saw, again, were fighter aircraft dumping fuel in front of this UAV and then getting so close to the aircraft that it actually damaged the propeller on the MQ-9. We assess that it likely caused some damage to the Russian aircraft as well. The Russian aircraft did land. I'm not going to go into where they landed. But again, it's just demonstrative of very unprofessional, unsafe airmanship on the part of these pilots. Because of the damage, we were in a position to have to essentially crash it into the Black Sea. To my knowledge, at this point in time, the Russians have not recovered that aircraft.
U.S. surveillance drone was brought down by two Russian Sukhoi 27 jets. The U.S. says that the surveillance aircraft, an MQ-9 Reaper as it was called, a large aircraft with sophisticated systems on board. It has a 20-meter wingspan, really a very complex system of surveillance. This was brought down by the Russian jets as it was operating in international airspace and was operating, as the U.S. says, quite legitimately. This was not exactly shot down, but it was brought down by U.S. accounts. The two Russian aircraft dumped fuel over the drone, leading the aircraft to crash into the waters below over the Black Sea. This now is a very serious confrontation. It's a confrontation very directly now between systems from the US and Russia. This is quite the first direct clash that we've had between the two.
CNN News 18's Abhishek Jha is joining us on this story. Abhishek, can you tell us more about this whole incident in which Russian jet has shot down a US drone?
So we know that there's a heightened tension in that area where USA drones and US aircraft are also regularly doing the recce and surveillance for the NATO allies. In that context only, this USA MQ-9 surveillance unmanned aircraft was hovering over the Black Sea when this Russian Su-27 aircraft tried to obstruct its path, tried to dump fuel on it and flew in front of it several times before hitting it so that it just could not fly. And finally, the U.S. The command, the one who was managing the aircraft, had to bring it down to the international water. So, and this aircraft was lost. So this was from the U.S. side. The story is that this was an attempt, a very unprofessional and reckless attempt by the Russians to drown that aircraft, US aircraft, and this is coming at a time when the tensions are already high in that area, where we have seen because of the Russia-Ukraine conflict over the Black Sea, there are multiple surveillance aircraft flying by the USA side, the European side, and Russians are also trying to claim that territory that no other is in that area. So in that context, this is a situation that can flare up further. USA has said that they will be talking directly to the Russian counterparts on the whole issue that has happened over the Black Sea.
Abhishek, how has Russia reacted to this? What are the reasons they have cited for, bringing down the US drone?
There has not been any official commentary from the Russian side so far, but we know that if it will happen, it will be sort of defensive, and they will say that most likely that they were trying to protect their own area. But we are waiting for any official confirmation on this incident from the Russian side.
Abhishek, for what purpose was that drone deployed by US?
That was MQ-9 US aircraft, which is a drone that is unmanned, and it is controlled from a distance. And this was flying over Black Sea for surveillance purpose. USS European Command that tries to create a coordination and that tries to create, collaborate with other European counterpart and NATO allies in that area. So that MQ-9 aircraft was gathering some data and doing surveillance activities when it was obstructed, hit, and was drowned by Russian Su-27.
So, Abhishek, now what can be expected next as far as the relations between US and Russia are concerned?
Clearly, this is an escalation that can go in a very wrong way as well, provided. But it looks like the USA side is willing to engage with the Russian side on this issue. The White House spokesperson Kirby has said that they will be talking directly to the Russian counterpart, and they will try to understand what led to this incident, whether it was just a reckless and professional incident or the Russian side has some other story that led to this crashing down of US MQ-9 aircraft into the Black Sea.
Right. So, Abhishek, now the tensions might escalate, and can it become a very dangerous, as we're already seeing that Russia has attacked Ukraine and it's been over a year, but there is no end to the war in sight. And then we're seeing this that Russian jet has now brought down the US drone. So can it escalate to a very dangerous level?
Actually, clearly, the tensions are high. Russians have been there for like one year. There have been multiple attacks in Black Sea as well from the Ukrainian side. In fact, Russia has always blamed the USA and UK and other European agencies for the intelligence input, which has led to massive losses to Russian side as far as Black Sea harbor or Black Sea fleet of Russian naval assets are concerned. In that context, Russia may have tried to ensure that there is no surveillance, there is no intelligence being gathered by the USA or NATO allies that will be used as Russian assets present in the Black Sea. And that was the reason why Russians did not only allow this aircraft but also try to drown it, so that in future USA side would be wary of the fact that there are Russian aircraft and that may attack them. But at the same time, we will have to understand the fact that it has been a war-like situation for 1 year, and any flare-up or any such direct confrontation between Russian assets and US assets would lead to some more complicated situation in the war, which will not be good. So clearly, the White House has so far maintained that this incident was a reckless and unprofessional incident, and they would be getting in touch with their Russian counterparts and knowing why this has happened and what all led to this situation.
Right, Abhishek. Thank you for giving us all those details. And we have some more breaking news that